Hi folks, County Line Gardener back with you. Hey, this is the 1st of August, around the 1st. Actually, it's the 4th, first week of August, and we always like to do our monthly garden update about around the first week of the month. So we're going to do August right now. Just wanted to show you this before we go outside. I've been busy this morning, got it all done. And it's only 9:15 right now, so I got up before daylight and got this going and got it all done. We already had all the tomatoes peeled. We just had to boil them and put them in the jars and then set them over there in the big can and boil them. You know how that works. So this is just 1 week's worth of tomatoes. I'm gonna guess there was a bushel there, maybe not quite a bushel, maybe 40 pounds. A bushel's 53 pounds tomatoes, but anyway, let's go on outside and we'll go up and look at the garden, okay? Be right back. Okay, let's go out. We're in the shop here. Let's go on out and go around the front and we'll go up to the garden now. It's kind of a brisk day this morning. Not real hot yet. About 65, which is just about perfect. Garden's doing real good this year. I'll tell you that right up front. We're doing exceptionally well this year. Here's my raised beds you're all familiar with. We'll go around here, and here's my plants. I always plant me a couple of plants real close to the greenhouse here where I can grab a hold of when I'm mowing. If I want to grab a tomato plant or a tomato, those are the little yellow cherries called sun sugars. They grow real good. We don't put them around the back anymore. Here's strawberries. Okay, I wanted to show you this. This one's just blank this year. I tried to put some more cucumbers in there, but they just didn't take off. But these are those 4 plants I showed you in the last video called Rosy V's. And they're just going crazy. They're just going crazy. Remember, we had onions in here, and over there. And I planted these. I took them out of the cups and put them in here, and they're just going nuts. Rosy V, it's Russian. The tomato is. It's a big pink thing. Looks, it's good. And this is purple top turnips. This is just something I plant after we pull the onions. These are my strawberries. They're ever-bearing. I don't think there's going to be any red ones in there right now, but we've been picking them crazy off of there. We always, every morning, we come down here, and it's just like a ritual. We come down here and check the rain gauge. And it don't look like it rained any overnight, none at all. But man, we've had so much dry weather here in July. And then bang, all of a sudden, in the last 2 weeks, it's rained about 8 inches. It's rained a bunch. We can't get in the garden. We can't, but we're going to try. This is our blackberry patch you're all familiar with if you watch the videos. They're coming on. They're coming on all different times of the year. I don't know how many gallons we've picked out of here so far. It's unreal. I had to do a little irrigating down here when it was dry, but anywhere you see a little white flower bloom, that's a blackberry coming on, and they're big. They are monsters. There's big hybrids, thornless blackberries. They're so good. Yeah, we'll go up here and get up here. We're gonna have to stop for a minute and open the gate. I don't think it rained any last night, so I think I can get in there. I'm gonna try it anyway, okay? I'll be right back. Okay, folks, we're back. We're getting ready to go through the gate here. I just about messed up a minute ago, just now. We have a switch at the house, which I'll show you, is way up there. You come down here and it comes up here to this electric fence, about 350 feet. I forgot to shut it off, knowing I was coming up here. I just about grabbed that. I just about grabbed that wire before I remembered I had not shut it off. So I ran over here to the control box and unplugged it. Hey, believe me, I've done it. I've done it. There's the peppers there. It just makes me sick at my stomach when I shock myself like that. Oh, it just kills me. Hey, here's something I wanted to show you. If you'll recall the last video, this is where my green beans were. Well, they're in there again. If you can tell how small they are, there's 4 rows there. After I harvested the other green beans, we had, I think we got 4 bushels out of a bushel a row, which is really, really good. Green beans. We planted jade green beans the first time, 4 rows. They did great. They had all kinds of weeds in them, but they did great. Now this time in the fall, the very next day, I come up here, tail up, mark off my rows, and I plant strike green beans. Strike green beans, like in a bowling strike or a baseball strike. And I want you folks to know, now I swear by it, these plants, they come up in 2 days. I guess it's because the soil's so warm. I don't know, but they're up and they're just going crazy. And this time I tried something, a little experiment. I'm not putting any fertilizer on them. I planted last year without fertilizer in the fall. I did not have one weed, not one. So we'll see. Here's the corn. Kind of disappointed in my corn. It's just not very tall. This is the sweet corn. You can see where that ear right there is black on the end of the silk is black. They say when that turns black, it's time to pick it. And we've already had a few of them. They're not bad. They're a little small this year. I never could grow big sweet corn, but I can sure grow that stuff there, that Indian corn. My wife loves that Indian corn. Here's an idea I had. I don't know if I showed it to you in the last video. This is cattle panel, and I put it down and bent it into a hoop, and then I planted my cucumbers along there, and they're growing up that cattle panel. They're doing pretty good except for the weeds. I can't control the weeds. I can't bend over and hoe it all, so we'll get what we can. That's why we put so much. Now look at this. Look at this Indian corn, how nice it's looking. It's really going to town. I don't know if you folks remember last year's videos. You might look at them. There wasn't nothing. We didn't get anything last year because it rained so much. We had 30 inches of rain in April, May, and June last year, and it ruined everything. Couldn't get in the garden. Now this year it's been just about right, except I think it's rained just a little too much here in the last, we'll say the last 2 weeks. It's almost rained too much. Okay, sometimes 2 inches at a time. That's too much. That's too much. Here's my pride and joy, of course, my tomato patch. There's 120 plants in there, and every single one of them is producing. We come up here yesterday and tried to pick tomatoes, and you can look at that dirt right there that mud where we sunk in. Got the golf cart all hung up. There's that Indiana, that world famous southern Indiana heirloom tomato. It's called a goat bag. It's a very, very ugly tomato, but it's a very, very good tomato. It's pink, no seeds hardly at all. They're hard to grow because you can't find seeds for them. So every time I grow 3 or 4 a year. I keep the seeds. You got to do that. They are good. They are a good plant. We got most of the red ones last night. You won't see too many red ones out there. Here's our access road. We leave an access road here, or we just basically just leave a row of tomatoes out so we can get the, truck down in there if we have to, or whatever. We don't use the truck up here, but we have, not very often. But we'll let them go a couple days now, and come up here, and I'll have to bring my knife, and I got my salt shaker here and my knife, and I'll have to test one up here. Every time we come up here, my wife gets on me for eating as many as I pick, but I don't. I don't eat near as many as I pick, but I get my share of them. This last row, I think we can go down through here. We're going to try anyway. This last row is yellow tomatoes. And I got some yellow tomatoes snuck in over there somehow. And over here, if you'll see it's dug up, I dug up my potatoes. Yes, sir. I dug up my potatoes and I did not real well. I did very good. I'll put it that way. I'm going to say, I don't know. I don't know if what's good and what isn't. We dug up 400 feet and we got 2 bushel. So you can go by that. You can go by that. Nice tomatoes too. Well, right there's a tomato ready to pick. I'll come back up here and get that later. We got to go to the local hospital and have an EKG done on my heart, I guess, or something. That's what they told me to do. So I got to go do that today, here in a little while. Okay, let's go up here. I want to run an idea by you folks. Something I'm going to try. Here's that's the top off of a lawn vac. We had a lawn vac and it blew up, so I took it apart and kept the trailer, and I kept this top part, and that's a push mower underneath there that we use right here. That we need to get out and use, but it's been so wet we can't. This is my blackberries. They're normally not that grassy in there, but like I said, with the rain, we just can't keep up. Like I said, I got an idea here. I want to run by you, my friends here, you guys, and I don't know if it'll work or not. You never know until you try. But here's a little cherry plant. Cherry tomatoes. They're awful little. I don't know what that is. It's supposed to be a Super Sweet 100, but it's too small for that. But anyway, they're good. Yellow tomato. Now I want you to look how these are planted. A little bit of weeds around the bottom, but grass in between. We mow that, okay? Mow it with the riding mower. Okay? Plants are 8 feet apart, like all my plants are. Well, plants I put in the ground. Corn, stuff like that ain't. But anyway, that's the cabbage. I never could get cabbage to grow. I mean, it's growing, but it ain't producing, I'll put it that way. Here's my question. Why couldn't I grow my tomatoes like this? Not worry about all that daggone rototilling over there. I can get in here anytime I want to. See, I'm running up and down this row like crazy right now because it's grass. It's neat, it's short, and they're growing. The plants are growing. That plant's going great right there. It's not great, but it's good. Anyway, that's my question is, why couldn't we just plant and not rototill? I'd like to hear some comments from you guys. I know it takes nutrients from the soil and all that stuff, but anyway, we might try that next year. Here's them blackberry plants that I made a video on a couple years ago, if you'll recall, planting them. My friend, I have a friend that I sell tomato plants to, brought these to me. I mentioned that I would like to have some blackberries. There's one back here. Now that's a very small one. That's a very small blackberry. Had a bug on it. I don't want to eat it. But anyway, here's some blackberry plants over here that were planted from these over here where they grow out in the open. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I don't know how or why, but these blackberry plants right here, the size of that stalk, those plants were not planted. Those plants grew wild off of the others, probably off the seeds of the blackberries. But anyway, we dig them up and reuse them over here. You never have to buy blackberries again. Plants anyway. And well, you can tell we need to get in here with the lawnmower, that's for sure. But they're growing great. Growing great. Now, I will admit that down in the bottoms, down up there, when I first get to start the video, that those plants were bought. Them plants were bought from Morris Company in, I think it's Maryland, somewhere on the East Coast. And man, they're good people. They're not cheap. I buy 25 blackberry plants. They're about 3 to 4 inches tall with a root ball and everything. $100. They're $100. But they're worth it. They just grow so good. Look at all these tomatoes. They're just going crazy, and I gotta pick them all. We're selling them. We have a little stand here at the house. Over the weekend, I think my wife made $100. That ain't bad. That ain't bad for doing nothing, sitting there. Look at this. Well, I love this Indian corn. Look how tall that is. We'll have some 14 feet tall if it's not already. And I love to look at it. I love looking at it. What you have to do is you have to let it sit there, and sit there. Here's some okra, a little bit of okra. I just let go to weeds. I just didn't worry about it. I don't like okra. I don't like anything about it. Some people do. But we sell it. We sell what we get there. Which not that much this year. You can tell how hard it's rained. Look at this. Look at what it's done to my ground here. The garden, it runs down this hill. Drainage is real good here. That's not hurting a thing here. Well, I did find out it's dry enough up here to come up here and pick after a while. I'm going to go to town, go to the doctor, and come back and do some picking and some grinning. Peppers this year, I don't know what to say. I don't know if it's a lack of water or what. We watered them practically every darn night, but they're doing okay. We're getting a lot of peppers off of them. They're just not doing as well as they have in the past. I'll put it that way. Red, I like growing the red, yellow, and orange bell peppers. And they won't turn this year. They're not wanting to turn color. That just about wraps this up, folks, for this video. Hope you've enjoyed it. I don't know what else to tell you about other than here's them blackberry plants. Folks, these are only 2 years old. This is only the second summer for these plants. And they were 3 inches tall when I bought them. Yeah. All them blooms up there, them are all blackberries. If you'll look real close, you'll see blackberries up there. They're getting ready to turn. If you buy the Primark, which is what I recommend, Primark Freedom, Primark Traveler. You'll get two helpings a year, two seasons a year out of them. I don't know how or why, but that's just the way they are. They're a hybrid. Oh, they're so good. Oh, they're so good. I don't see any red ones yet. My wife keeps these picked. Man, she comes down here and picks the heck out of them. And sells the heck out of them. That's our biggest money maker is blackberries. But I'm going to cut this off for now. And go in and get it loaded up. So folks, you have a good gardening season. We are here. We can't complain a bit. It's just been wonderful. Just been wonderful. The rains come when we needed it. Sometimes too much, but not very often. So we'll talk to you later. Okay? Be safe. Bye-bye.